connect.
If you're ever looking for a new TV, you know how challenging that can be sometimes. It's confusing. You walk into a store and there's literally dozens of different types. Well, to help demystify some of that, we've got Brent DeWall from Sony. Thanks for coming on the show again.
No problem.
So let's have a look at how these TVs work and what we should look for. Right now, we've got one here that you've taken apart.
Yeah, and put back together. I think the thing that's confusing for a lot of people, the most popular kind of TV right now is an LCD TV, but there's lots of different kinds, and what differentiates them is how you create the light. And in this case, we have a TV that's been cut apart and put back together. You have these little fluorescent tubes, and this has been the way we've lit LCD TVs sort of since the beginning, and now we've come up with all these different ways of changing that backlight. And it's really important because people think about the panel. They get very interested in the glass and that kind of thing, but it's just one part. As you can see here, this LCD crystals go all the way across, but they don't on their own block the light. They actually need the diffusers to spread out the light. We use polarizing filters to actually shape the light and allow you to get that color through. So how you design the TV, how bright these are, how close they are, how dark these are, allows you to make a different kind of picture quality. So when you're wondering why TVs range so much in prices, it's this magic recipe for getting the backlighting, the thinness, and the great picture quality all in a single package.
Well, let's go have a look at some TVs and get some more info.
Okay.
So this is our first stop on our TV journey of discovery. Beautiful picture, but I'm noticing this particular model a lot thicker than some of the thin ones you see out in the market now.
So instead of having a thin edgelit, we've got this cluster of LEDs. To give you an idea of what that looks like, I've got a clip of my son playing soccer here, and I'll just play it once so you can see what's going on. This is a simulation of what the backlight is doing. So you have all these individual clusters, and as the picture changes, it changes the brightness and darkness to enhance the contrast area by area on the screen. So I'll layer them together, and you can see how the backlight is brighter on the horizon and on the line, and where it's darker, you'll get a better contrast. So you get lots of contrast and detail on an LCD, and those three color LEDs give you the pure, rich color.
So basically, this is kind of the top of the line as far as the TVs go, but you're getting a lot more control in the various little squares here.
Absolutely. It's a very sophisticated system because each one of these squares has its own sensor. It regulates itself. It keeps itself tuned. And what I was saying about the thickness of the TV, it's a very bright technology, so you want it back farther to improve the color and the contrast.
So people looking at this TV will notice better blacks and richer colors, essentially.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go have a look at the next one.
All right.
So what are we looking at here, Brent?
So the XBR9 gives us the same kind of tubes that we saw in the first TV, but with a richer color gamut. So this gives us a great color like the XBR8, not quite as good, but still much better than your regular TV. Nice thin form factor and a lot more features. So we have a 240 hertz, so we actually quadruple the frame rate to give you very clear, smooth motion for your sports and movies. And we also have internet-enabled TV on this, so you plug the internet right in the back, and you can do your Twitter and see the weather and also surf YouTube. You can watch Get Connected right off the internet.
Thank God. Here. So let's talk about that 240 hertz as far as the motion goes, because that's been one of the things I've heard, that LCD TVs aren't as good at motion.
Right, and so when you look at the panel, it's all about the drivers, so how we actually draw the picture on the panel. If you think of a graphics card on the computer, you can run these same panels at up to 240 frames a second. So what we do is we take the original frames and we make 3 new frames in between to smooth out any wide pans or sudden motion, but we also sharpen those images before we make the new frame. So if something's actually blurred on the source because it's moving really fast, like a football or a soccer ball, basketball, we'll sharpen that before we make the new frame so it smooths it even further.
How does it know?
Well, it's MPEG, and MPEG is all about math and blocks and motion. So right in the file itself, it's already defining the fast-moving objects. And so we take those and apply our algorithms. I mean, it's all based on that technology we developed for broadcast.
Well, let's have a look at the last one here, which is, I think, a pretty cool one.
Okay.
Well, it looks like we've saved the thinnest for last. I mean, how thick is this one?
This is under a centimeter thick. It's 9.9 millimeters. It's actually so thin you can't put connectors on it. The connectors run into the base and the speakers. That allows us to get it nice and thin. But in this case, the lighting is actually on the edge and it shoots in. So the technology trick is to evenly distribute that lighting, because on all the other ones, you've got an even light source going forward. On this one, it's on the edge. So it's much more like a laptop design. When you have your thin laptop, you have the edge-lit LEDs.
So this TV is more about aesthetics, really. You know, we looked at the first one there that was kind of this thick, but you're saying the thicker ones typically give the better picture quality.
Right, so you're going to get a color fidelity similar to a regular CCFL backlight, and the other two we looked at have higher color fidelity, but obviously they don't have these great thin aesthetics.
I don't care because this one's so cool looking. But I mean, when you have this up on your wall at home, you know, you're not comparing it in a store that has 20 TVs side by side. So, I mean, obviously the picture quality is going to be pretty good.
Yes, and that's the key. For all the Sony TVs, you're looking for picture quality. And when you're shopping for a TV, watch the things you want to watch, and that will make the choice up. You're going to watch that TV every day for years. So you want to make sure that you get the right TV that gives you the best picture quality.
I noticed one of the features, optional features for this is wireless HDMI, because as I can imagine here, this being this thin, all the connectors are down in that base.
Right.
Wireless HDMI might give you some more flexibility on where you put your Blu-ray player and Sony PlayStation.
Right, so with your wireless HDMI, you have a module that attaches to the back of the TV and one that goes in your rack. It comes with 8 IR repeaters so that you can control any device that you may have, and you wirelessly transmit. It's fast enough to play games. You use the one remote that comes with it, and you can control all the components and keep them out of sight. So you can really build on this nice thin design by not having a bunch of components all over your family room or living room.
How far can you keep those components away with that?
It's about 30 feet in the room, and sometimes you can tuck it away behind. Depending on the construction and the electrical wiring in your house, you can sometimes cheat a little bit farther.
So basically it's all about, I guess, aesthetics, like how thin you want the TV, or if you're more interested in like the, I guess, best picture quality when you're looking at these panels.
Absolutely.
Brent DeWall talking all about LCD panels and what to look for when you're purchasing your TV. If you want some more information, you can always check out our website or sonystyle.ca.
Gotta get connected.